All right. I think that statement is indicative of the regard of China for international law. Those exercises were held in open seas, in the high seas, where there is freedom of navigation and no one country controls that area. So if China makes that statement that we invite an outsider in the open sea area, then it is indicative of how it views international law. So are they saying that they own the area, or they have the exclusive jurisdiction and sovereignty over the high seas?
The Philippines recently held 2 days of naval drills in the West Philippine Sea with New Zealand, Australia, and the United States. And the Chinese military once again called the Philippines as the troublemaker in the region by inviting what they call non-regional parties. For Secretary Teodoro, how would you like to respond to this statement, and if Minister McGuinty would also like to give his reaction?
All right. I think that statement is indicative of the regard of China for international law. Those exercises were held in open seas, in the high seas, where there is freedom of navigation and no one country controls that area. So if China makes that statement that you invite an outsider in the open sea area, then it is indicative of how it views international law. So are they saying that they own the area, or they have exclusive jurisdiction and sovereignty over the high seas? Are they saying that? If they say that, then you have your answer, how they regard international law, which is precisely why these kinds of activities have to continue to uphold international law. And it's not only in the seas, but also in the airspace. We see what they did to Australia in an international airspace with the P-8, where there was a dangerous maneuver by the Chinese. So if China feels that it is an intrusion on an area which under international law is a common area, then we refute that.
Would Minister McGuinty also like to react on that? And if Canada will also join future naval drills with the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea?
I think it's important to remember that Canada has been and remains resolute in support of Filipino sovereignty and territorial integrity. This is something we recognize. The question of moving forward together is exactly why we're here signing and executing this agreement today. How can we share in improving the situation in the region? How can we engage further? How can we learn from each other? How can we take the leadership and the advice of the experience of Filipino experts in the region? This is a big moment for Canada as it moves to sign this new agreement, as the Secretary said, the first of its kind in the Indo-Pacific. And we're looking forward to moving on this pretty quickly. We have some very important touch points, a plan of attack in terms of where we're implementing, how we're implementing. As I mentioned earlier, training and exchanges and information sharing. And one of the other things we talked about was some of the emergency management that goes on in the Philippines and Canada. Canada's, like the Philippines, subject to natural challenges now. We had over 1,000 wildfires this year in Canada. So this is new for us. We're having to contend with this, as you are, and other forces at play that are seemingly not going away. So we're going to continue to build on this very strong relationship and learn from each other.
Last question will be from Rex Espiritu of Manila Standard.
Good afternoon, ministers. This question is
our job really is to pursue Philippine resilience and uphold international law. So our defense engagements under President Marcos is subject to a plan already and subject to guidance. Two pillars. The first pillar is internal resilience and hardening. Second are our defense partnerships and convergence with like-minded countries. So we cannot put any meaning into the gesture of President Marcos of approaching President Xi Jinping. Probably it's a personal gesture, but the policy does not change.
Thank you, Secretary.
That ends our activity this afternoon. We'd like to thank Secretary Teodoro and Minister McKindy for their time this afternoon, and we congratulate them on the historic signing of the SOFMA between Philippines and Canada.
Picking up on what you mentioned kanina, sir, about not wanting to meet your Chinese counterpart, hindi ba important, sir, for ministers to continue conversation despite the tension?
Well, of course it is important, but how can you have a conversation when the day before the ADMM, the Ministry of Defense of China came out with a statement that we have to mend our ways and or suffer the consequences, and that the Philippines is blackmailing China? Would you talk to, or would you offer to talk to somebody who slammed your country that way? Of course not. I mean, if I would be willing to talk if there was a semblance of good faith. Kung nagpakita ng sinseridad, kakausapin ko, bakit hindi? Pero kakausapin mo na the day before sinabi bina-blackmail natin ng China, pagkatapos magbago daw tayo ng mend your ways. Para ba't, biro mo magsasabi sila, gusto namin makipag-usap, mabait kami, pagka sasabihan ka on the other hand na ganun. Sampal sa mukha yun. Kaya hindi ko tatanggapin. At sinabi ko yun sa aking intervention sa ADMM Plus. At kinote ko ang isang tao na sinabi, resist unilateral bullying. So sinusunod lang naman natin ang sinabi. Sino nagsabi no? President Xi Jinping sa APEC. Itong October, sabi niya, we must resist unilateral bullying. Eh ba't pag tayo ang nagre-resist, ayaw nila?
Ano reaction, sir?
Wala.
Sir, this is the...
Hindi ready yung script eh.
Sir, this is the SOFA that the Philippines signed with another
Yes.
country. No?
Yeah.
But we're still seeing a lot of incidents involving the Chinese in the West, in the South China Sea. Do you think, are these alliances having an impact on
Oh,
Chinese
definitely.
aggression?
Definitely it has an impact. Because and it serves also to unearth, to put to light what are true intentions of China. It is not Pacific at all. Peace-loving, pagkatapos ganun ang gagawin. Yan ang katunayan na dapat makita ng ating mga tao. No? Pwede tayo makipag-usap, magpakita lamang ng sinseridad. Eh talaga naman rhetoric yung sinasabi nila. Ang policy nila talaga is to take control of the South China Sea. So lahat ng sinasabi nila, rhetoric yun. Yun ang goal eh. No? Kasi ang world trade, kontrolado yun. Yung critical underwater infrastructure na tumatawid dyan, napaka-importante. Nakikialam din sila hanggang sa Baltics, hanggang sa Australia at saka New Zealand, hanggang sa Pacific Islands, hanggang sa South America. So, sino ang hegemonic? Sino ang gustong magpalapad ng kanilang poder sa mundo? China. Okay lang sa atin yun. Huwag lang tayo pakialaman. Ang hinihingi natin, umalis sila sa West Philippine Sea. 800 kilometers magmula sa kanila yon. Sa atin, yung Bajo de Masinloc is 124 lang. Oh.
Sir, any Chinese construction in the Scarborough Shoal would be a red line for the Philippines and the U.S., would you think?
Oh, I mean, if you treat it as and artisanal fishing ground. Sumunod tayo sa arbitral award. Artisanal fishing ground, wala ni isang, within the EEZ of the Philippines, wala ni isang bansa na pwedeng mag-exclude ng kung sino doon. So violation ng international law yun. Kung anong gagawin natin, of course, there will be a proper response.
Very quick lang sa sinabi niyo, talk with Minister ng China. Would you please give context to that?
Wala namang invitation na makipag-usap eh. Kasi talaga naman, kailangan may lines of communication, normally, kahit na may tensyon. Pero sa kanila naman nakita natin na walang sinseridad. Ang linya, binobola lang naman tayo. O kaya maglalabas ng mga statement na hindi maganda. So bakit pa? Ang kausap natin, yung mga tumutulong sa atin na may sinseridad. Katulad ng ASEAN, ang defense ministers ng ASEAN ay nagsabi nga ang Malaysian Defense Minister na kailangan we must evolve positions on the South China Sea. We cannot afford to gloss over that anymore, no? So nararamdaman din nila, no? Sila dahil sa peculiar circumstances ng kanilang mga bansa, meron silang pagkakasundo ng China. Pero sa atin naman, nakatulong ba ang China na magpatatag ng ating internal resilience? Hindi. Ano yung inintroduce dito? Scam hubs, substandard na steel. At saka very, very tactical yung kanilang engagements. No? So, hindi ko naman sinasabi na hindi dapat. Pero dapat kung makikipag-usap o makikipag-ugnayan tayo, respetuhin muna nila ang alituntunin natin at ang sovereignty natin. At yan ang pinaglalaban natin.